All right, Melody, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. This commissioner, welcome you all to the Planning Commission this evening. Saunders, how are you? For December 21st, 2022, my name is Jason Hanson. I'm the current chair of the Planning Commission. We will start this meeting tonight with an invocation, which I'll give, and then we'll have Commissioner Mitchell lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Go ahead and offer the invocation. Our Father in heaven, as we come before thee in prayer tonight at the beginning of our Planning Commission meeting, we're thankful for the opportunity that we all have to be here. We're thankful for this city that we live in. We're thankful for the safety that was given us to get here. Please help us this evening to handle the matters at hand intelligently and civilly with each other. We're thankful for all in this room and within earshot of what they do for the city, making this a better place for us to live. We ask you to please watch over us, each of us, as we leave this meeting this evening, that we will be watched over with safety as we return home to our families. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
All right.
Thanks, Commissioner Mitchell. This evening, we'll start with item number 1, the approval of the agenda. If you've all had a chance to look that over, I'll go ahead and look for a motion if there are no changes. Drew, we understand there's going to be a tabling. Should we do that right now, or should we wait until it comes out? Okay. Okay.
Commissioner Anderson, I make a motion to approve the agenda as outlined.
This is Commissioner Bullock. I'll second.
All right, I've got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the agenda is set as stands. Item number 2, an approval of the minutes. If there's nothing needs to be added at this time, I'll look for a motion on that as well, from December 7th, 2022.
This is Commissioner Bullock. I make a motion we approve the meeting minutes from December 7th, 2022.
Commissioner Anderson, I second.
Got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. At this time, declaration of any abstention or conflict that each commissioner has. I do not have any this evening.
No.
Nope. All right. Item number 4A. This is a public hearing for consideration and recommendation to the City Council for JR Subdivision Preliminary Plat located approximately 2050 East Washington Dam Road. The applicant is Bush and Gudgel. Turn the time over to Eldon for the staff report.
Thank you, Commissioners. The zoning designation at this location was recently rezoned to single-family residential 15,000 square foot minimum. The surrounding zoning is RA1 with bonus density to the north, RA5 to the east, planned unit development, residential to the south, and residential agriculture 1 acre to the west. The proposed subdivision conforms to the approved zoning. The request meets the subdivision requirements and other city ordinances as it relates to this location. Staff has reviewed the request and recommends approval with conditions of the preliminary plat as outlined. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommend approval of the preliminary plat for the JR subdivision onto the City Council based on the following findings and subject to the following conditions as seen in your report. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Thanks, Eldon. Commissioners, open the floor for any questions.
I can't remember, is this allowable for large animals or no? No. And are they required to put fencing on the, around the perimeter of the property?
No, they are not. was gonna have to pull up the zoning, but Drew's one step ahead of me on that.
So is that a private lane or is it a dedicated road?
It'll be a dedicated public roadway. We are requiring the secondary access to come in with phase 2, which is noted on the plat along with the hammerhead down to the south. So they'll be able to do 1 through 4 right off the bat. And if they want to go deeper than lot 4, secondary access will be required to come in with anything below lot 4.
Do we know if they have purchased the property next to them yet?
I'm not sure. I'd
So
defer to the
that
applicant on that.
secondary access isn't even up to them yet, correct? I mean, if they don't own it, they can't put that in, right?
They'll be required to get the easement from them. So
From them.
and I know they have been working with them on that.
So if they do develop those lots, their entrance will be on, because it'll pick up the other half of this road, right? This main road. Isn't that what that showed me? The 50, right there, the 50-foot section. They're only doing half of it, and then they'll have to do the other half if they develop that. Okay.
So when are they required to obtain the easement? Prior to getting phase 2 approval, I would assume?
Correct. Yeah, it would come in with the pre-plat. We would want that secondary access.
There's probably a very good reason, Eldon, but in my mind, shouldn't the detention be at the south end or the north end as opposed to the south end? I feel like the water's flowing uphill to get to it.
It's going south. It's going north.
Well, it is going north.
It's all downhill.
Because it's right next to Dam Road. And I wondered how that sat next to Dam Road, how that looks. Because I didn't get a chance to ride over there. I just wondered if you had an aerial.
The engineer's here. He could clear up any of those
Oh, I read it the other way.
concerns.
Yeah. Right.
All these lots are higher and they're coming down.
I thought it was the other way.
Oh, and there's a detention pond right by the street.
All right.
But all just drains back north.
Everything on the south side is higher.
Yeah.
Anything else that we have initially? No. Eldon, thanks. This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here in the chamber that'd like to speak to this item, please come forward, state your name. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing at this time. Any other questions, commissioners, that you have? Or comments?
Sorry, the road was still under construction when the aerials went by last
Does it have full sewer all the way back, or are they on septic?
That'll be sewer.
Sewer?
Sewer.
Some of the benefit of the new development, upsizing that sewer line, I guess.
Well, no, I think the city upsized that a while back when the road went in.
Oh,
New stuff is out.
further. Okay.
The two of you that just came in, by any chance, were you here to see the JR subdivision preliminary plat? Is that what you're here for this evening? Yes. Were you intending on making any public comment?
I'm not sure. We don't think so. We're just kind of seeing.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because we closed the public comment in case you had something, I would reopen it just because you got here, but, okay. Is it reasonable to think that more of this will continue in that area in the future? It's going to do this?
At least a few more. You're kind of running out of these. After this one and the one right next to it go, the great where you can see Granada Royale, that's kind of already somewhat taken care of itself. It's kind of the same thing, but they just haven't finished all their final plat in that area yet. But there's probably another half dozen of these along on each side of the road, between it.
If that detention pond filled up, is there a drain to it to take it out if it did get full, or would it just overflow Washington Dam Road?
Is there storm drain in that area, John? Yeah, so it'll hold it, put it into the storm drain system.
So Commissioner Anderson, I make a motion to approve the preliminary plat for the JR subdivision located at 2050 East Washington Dam Road with the two conditions, 2 findings and 13 conditions as outlined by staff, and send it to City Council for consideration.
Ms. Shield, I second.
All right, I've got a motion by Commissioner Anderson, a second by Shield, individual voting Shield.
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Bullock,
Aye.
Mitchell.
Aye.
I'm Hanson. I'm an aye as well. This item passes, and we will send this to City Council with our recommendation for approval. Item number 4B. This is also a public hearing for consideration and recommendation to the City Council for Sandy Creek subdivision located approximately 222 West, 840 South. The applicant is Bush and Gudgel. It sounds like this is,
Yeah, this item's been asked to be tabled till the 4th of January meeting. They just haven't finished. They were still working through some items, and it's just best that we have all that on the plat for you. So we're going to ask this be tabled to January 4th and extend that public hearing as well. So
all right, I'll look for a motion, commissioners, on that. I think we have to have a motion, right?
This Shield, I move that we table item 4B, preliminary plat for the Sandy Creek subdivision located approximately 222 West, 840 South. Table that until January 4th. And continue the public hearing at that point.
This is Commissioner Bullock. I'll second.
Got a first by Shield, second by Bullock, individual voting Shield.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Bullock.
Aye.
Mitchell.
Aye.
Hanson, I'm an aye as well. 4B is tabled until January 4th, an extension of the public hearing. Item number 5A, conditional use permit. This is also a public hearing and consideration to approve a conditional use permit for a proposed apartment building complex, C-22-17, located approximately Lost Spring Drive and Highway 7. Applicant is D.R. Horton. I'll turn the time to staff.
just to keep in the Christmas spirit, this item we're asking to have tabled as well. Still working out a few of the things, because if you read my report, I gave it kind of a different kind of a recommendation, and we want to see if we can work that out to a more positive recommendation. So we want this one to be tabled until the January 18th meeting of next year. And again, carry that public hearing forward to January 18th.
This is Commissioner Bullock. I make a motion to table the conditional use C-22-17 to January 18th, 2023 with the public hearing.
Commissioner Anderson, I have a quick question. Where this is a conditional use, does it already have, is it already existing, or it already has a preliminary plat, or?
No, you won't have platting on apartments because they're all owned by the same, generally it's property owner owns the development, or a series of property owners, own it, but it's not individually owned.
So it's just like a
pieces.
commercial piece?
Yeah, you can kind of consider apartments somewhat commercial in essence. They fall in residential zoning in essence, for the most part, but you won't see platting generally on an apartment complex. So
But this is just in a straight zone area though, right? That's why we're not seeing
this
it.
is in a PCD, so
It
it's
is okay.
yeah. These pods were designated to be for multifamily, so they were already pre-done that way with the Long Valley Trails Master Plan Community Development. So the pods were already designated for that. We're just showing specific design, layout, movement you know, landscaping, things like that, just so we have that, know what's coming in that perspective on the look and the appearance.
So we're tabling it because of the parking issue?
They're just working out some more details.
Yeah, and it's probably mostly the parking issue is what's holding it up. So
Who's this other applicant, Somas? I obviously know who D.R. Horton is. but
they're the engineer. Somas is a big engineering firm
Okay.
they're in the West. I mean, I've seen them in Arizona, Utah, I think a few other states they do work in. So they're the particular engineer that has been hired by D.R. Horton.
This is Commissioner Anderson. I'll second the motion.
All right, I've got a motion by Commissioner Bullock, second by Anderson. Individual voting, Shield.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Bullock.
Aye.
Mitchell.
Aye.
I'm Hanson. I'm an aye as well. This item has been tabled until January 18th, 2023, with a continuation of the public comment as well. That's it that we have. Is there anything that staff needs to talk about this evening or any other commissioner comments? No? I'll look for a motion to adjourn the meeting this evening.
This is Commissioner Mitchell. I make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
I've got a first and a second to close the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all.
Milkshake time, right?
Recording stopped.
Now Lori wants to say something.